today. Was not planning on doing one. I was going to do some funny video on the dogs. You know, we had fireworks last night, and the dogs don't always like that. And we gave them the little pill to calm down, but Stormy's the youngest one, and she's not as heavy as the big dog, so we gave her just a little bit. But she got stoned, which was great, and I'll share that video later. Hey, Coffee, hey, Cobra. First of all, Happy New Year, and God bless all of y'all. I'm glad you could join me. If you can hear me, just let me know, 5x5. Hey, Moldy, KP, thank you, Dan, Farmer. Just to start off, I want to thank Hayes Gray Prepper, who's actually my brother over in Louisiana, as well as KP Heathen, who's my mod, and we were throwing information back and forth. So if you've not heard yet, there was an attack, or at least what is now being considered an attack, in New Orleans on New Year's Eve. And KP can confirm any details I'm missing because I got bits and pieces. What happened is a vehicle in a generic sense. Hey, book club. Hey, Dan. In a generic sense, a vehicle went up Bourbon Street at about 3 a.m. this morning, which obviously, even though the bars close at 2, it's freaking New Orleans. They're open all the time. There were a bunch of, actually, 3 a.m., KP, correct me if I'm wrong, the bars close at 2, like they don't serve alcohol until 7, but you can sit in the bars, which means you can still walk around the street. So there was not like Mardi Gras where they chase you the hell off. During New Year's or St. Patrick's Day, you just kind of meander until the bars open again, or you find a place to sit and you can order chips or something until they start serving more brews. So, okay, KP said correct. So the bars had just let out officially as far as not serving alcohol at 2. So at 3 in the morning, a lot of people have finished the drinks they bought for last call and are now on the street. And this guy came plowing through. So this was now that I'm thinking of it that way, that was a very well-timed to do it, because if you do it, you could do it during New Year's Eve, like midnight, but the cops will be blocking all the roads, right? So the cops have already started moving out, and the bars are shut down at 2. So by 3, you're done with your food, done with your drink, and now you're stumbling around, you know, yakking with your friends when this guard comes through. Anyway, the bottom line was we had 12 fatalities, unfortunately. Dozens hurt. I don't know numbers. I just posted a short video, go check that out, where a group of people, or a group of cops, there were state troopers and local, were sitting in a corner, and they all took off running off camera at the same time. I'm looking like a dozen guys. They were hauling because they heard the commotion. The vehicle hit, killed a dozen, crashed into the group of people, whatever, and then it hit something and came to a stop. When the law enforcement got there, the individual then got in a firefight with the cops. 4 cops were hurt. The attacker apparently was put down. I don't know if he's dead or not. I heard one saying he's dead, others saying he's not. Okay, Dan, 10 and 2. I'm hearing 12 and 4 on the police, but again, it's a lot of, and it's not disinformation like a deliberate. It's more like misinformed. Like, I think a lot of the news agencies are getting bits and pieces from the street and their local reporters, and so they don't know. Yeah, but it's still going to be quite a few. And I can only imagine how many are hurt by this car going through. Have been having buildings collapse. Ooh, that's not good. 10 killed, 30 injured. Okay, thank you, Billy. So, I forgot sugar in that coffee. Woofa. Well, I'll be awake in about 20 minutes, that's for sure. What I'm hearing, again, from folks who live in the area, and thank you to those of you who did reach out to me. From what I heard from Hayes Gray and someone else, is that the Super Bowl will be in New Orleans, I believe, in 6-7 weeks. So they were doing construction on the bollards that are normally used on Bourbon Street, because Bourbon Street traffic is forbidden most of the time. You can drive up and down, But during events like the evenings like this, they shut it down and they put bollards, which would absolutely have stopped a car or pickup truck. They were not in place. They were using, some of the folks who texted me had cones. Others said they had the wooden barricades. But again, if you're not familiar with New Orleans, so you have this main street runs up and down, and then Bourbon, Royal, all these other streets run 90 degrees from that. So I don't know if he came down the main street, I think it's Poydras, and then made a left and charged into Bourbon Street. It looked like it was in the corner of the Cat's Meow or the Sonesta, so I don't know which corner it was on Bourbon Street. I lived near New Orleans for a very long time, and I have family and friend ties and my old church in that area. So to me, this is very freaking personal. They may as well have attacked Houston, because that I have a lot of people close to me who live in Louisiana and in that general area. True Cajun country, you know, south of 20, right? Hey, Yankee. In any case, what I'm hearing is because the Super Bowl is coming, they were doing a lot of construction, and the security features that should be there were not there. They were not in place. And so they put temporary barricades. He may have figured out a way around them. Maybe he just came off a side street and turned into the crowd. There's a lot of ways I can see it came down. NOPD and state troopers were there on scene. They're the ones who engaged the driver. And after that, apparently the feds, the New Orleans office of the FBI, got involved, and a decision was made that the FBI is going to take over in the last hour. So if that decision was made, then more than likely, then it was a terror attack. Now, to Moldy Soldier's point, yes, there are multiple pictures of the vehicle had a flag on the back, and it was a black flag with what looked like white script. And it was folded down so you couldn't see what was on it. And as a result, you couldn't see. To me personally, I'm speculating, so I'm going to disclaimer, speculation. It looked like a folded up ISIS flag hanging off the flag of the back of the truck. Now, I have gotten information from some of the family members who are still tied with their communities from their prior service that the vehicle was registered in Houston and drove to New Orleans to be there for New Year's Eve. Hey, Ghost Lincoln. Hey, Tony. Tony, I don't know. There's one picture of a guy who looks Mediterranean. Is that a terrible thing to say? He looks like me, like my color. But he's waving his hand, so I don't know if that was the driver or if that was someone who just watched his friend get hit, and then he's like, oh, I'm calling for the cops. So I have no context to the individual. And of course, they're going to release nothing formally because they're afraid they're going to freak everyone out. So, Rome, I don't know what to tell you. I absolutely agree. Moldy, probably. Between two grunts, yeah, probably. But we don't know. So again, speculation. What I saw on TikTok and X sure as hell looked like a folded up ISIL or ISIS flag, but it wasn't opened up. There was one vague picture of a guy in like a jumpsuit, but he had his hands up and he's waving. So that doesn't sound like a guy committing a terror attack. That sounds like a guy whose wife just got hit by a car and he's freaking out. So we're going to wait there. But I'm hearing that this individual may have come through either El Paso or Eagle Pass, vehicles from Houston, and then showed up in New Orleans and did this. And it looked like an F-150 or Silverado 15, like a full-size standard four-door truck. There were explosives in the vehicle. He did have firearms. He got in a firefight with the cops, which he lost. I don't know if he was trying, there's different statements that he was trying, hey, Mad Shad, he was trying to deploy or initiate something in the vehicle, But the cops, because it's Bourbon Street, there were cops everywhere, so they converged on his ass before he could initiate whatever was in the vehicle. But rumor has it, it was indeed some kind of IED or an incendiary device, which would have just basically spewed fire everywhere. Think of like a napalm. There are a few ways to do horrendous shit like that. So yeah, Yankee. Hey, Bad Bobber. So in any case, right now we have anywhere from 10 to 12 fatalities, 30 plus injuries, 2 cops shot, and they said Bourbon Street and the French Quarter will be shut down to tourism until further notice, possibly at least in the indefinite future. Unfortunately, the Superdome's having a football game today, which now makes me wonder even more. IED was confirmed. Okay, thank you, KP. Now, I will point out again, those of you unfamiliar with New Orleans, you can go there, celebrate all day, New Year's Eve, right? The bars close officially on the books at 2. In other words, they serve no alcohol at 2. They don't close the bars, though. The bars open because they get a night crew comes in and they start cleaning up. So if you're sitting there with your friends, which has happened to me, and it's already like 2 in the morning, they're like, hey, can you guys sit on that table so we can clean this area? And of course, you're like, yeah, sure. And you take your shit over and you clean up and then you move back. But at 2, they stop serving booze. So this attack happened at 3. And if you think about it, we just had New Year's Eve. All these, hey, Pilgrim, all these people are celebrating in the bars and the restaurants, whatever. Everything closes at 2, but they let you finish your drink and your food. So by 3 o'clock, people are now wandering into the street to see what else is going on and maybe to party a little on the street. And you can get beer and hurricanes if you want to. You know, there's little cubby holes that will dispense alcohol late. But the bars were open, just not serving, and they wouldn't serve again until I think it's 7 or 8 in the morning. Usually it's 7, because I've done that. I've gone there for last call, and at like 1:45, they're like, hey, it's last call. You guys order what you want. So we'll order like 4 pitchers of beer or margaritas, whatever the hell we're having, and get like a bunch of onion rings and garbage, right? And then we're eating for about an hour, and then about 3:30, we're like, we got to walk off this food. So we take our drinks and we just walk around and go sightseeing all the touristy shit in the dark. And then you come back to the bar, and or you can go to another bar at 7 when everything reopens. So whoever did this knew or had to have known that the bollards and the security features were under construction and not available. Yeah, Tony. And you know what, Tony? If you ever go back, the best restaurants are not on Bourbon Street. They are everywhere else. You find these little Italian hole-in-the-wall places. Oh, God, the calamari. Anyway, I digress. It was on St. Charles Street, though. A little mafia. It used to be a mafia joint back like 70 years ago, 80 years ago. But bottom line is a lot happened. This guy clearly knew the bars ended drinking at 2, so he waited till 3 because he figured people would be in the street by then. He was probably hoping that by 3 o'clock the cops had dissipated. They did not. There was a shit pile of cops because what they were doing, the footage I posted earlier, they were having a meeting. The cops were in front of it. Looked like the Sinester, the cat's meow. I couldn't tell from the angle. And they're talking. There's like a guy with a clipboard, and they're like, oh, okay. And all of a sudden, they all look up, and then they start running. And so the cops were winding it down, but they were still there. And I think that may have saved a lot of people. If this guy had IEDs and he had weapons, and he was planning to initiate the truck and then run down the street and shoot more people, and before he could set off his device and grab all his gear, the cops were running at him from different directions. It absolutely screwed up his plan. And then, well, you know how they say the best laid plans usually get screwed up after the first few shots are fired? That's basically what happened to this guy. Yeah, good kid Karma. It's so sad. Mike, I don't know. Normally during New Year's and games, NOPD usually can do a good job of securing, but because the Super Bowl is coming in 6 weeks, I think it's coming 6-7 weeks to New Orleans, a lot of the security features like the bollards that they would lock in place that would have absolutely stopped this truck have been under construction. So there were a lot of wooden barriers, sandbag barriers, you know, alternative barriers, which a guy in a 4x4 could probably finagle his way around and then make a run at the people. Casinos do have good food, yeah. Now, if you're going to New Orleans in general, they do have high crime, petty theft, robberies, you know, pickpockets, stuff like that, but like any other big city. Ghetto. Trump Tower in Vegas just got hit an hour ago. No shit. Buddy, I was just in front of that building for Thanksgiving. Let me see if Shamad Jinabar, age 4. Thank you, 37 degrees north. So I'm hearing rumors he came across Eagle Pass, Texas, or El Paso. I'm not sure which. It was on the western part of Texas. He tried to go through Arizona and the guard stopped him. And then he tried to go through South Texas, McAllen, and the Texas Guard, the governor's militia, constitutional militia, which is a legitimate thing. They fall, the feds put them under first responders, but they are a legit organization. Got him and turned him over to ICE. So he kept trying, I guess, until he got through Eagle Pass with that big herd of people. The vehicle was registered in Houston. Let me see if Trump Tower, let me see if I can get some footage there. Trump Tower, I can't spell tower, guys. Hold on a second here. Why a Cybertruck? That's weird. Has a royal glosser. No, I'm not seeing anything yet. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but it hasn't hit. And usually X and Twitter, X and TikTok, the news gets out really fast, which is probably why they don't like those two platforms, because they can't control them. Oh no, here we go. No. Now it's, no, I got it. Tesla Cybertruck explodes outside Trump Tower after an ISIS-linked terrorist left 10 dead, and now a Tesla Cybertruck is blown up in front of Trump Tower. Wait, just a Trump Tower in New Orleans? There's the, oh shit, sorry guys. That's the, oh shit. That's New Orleans and the Cybertruck overlaid. Sorry if it's graphic, they grayed it out, but oh my God. All right, we're not looking at the rest of that. They're not confirming. It said Trump Tower. I don't think there's a Trump Tower in New Orleans, so it has to be like Vegas or New York or something. Oh, flippin' hell. It doesn't feel like New Year's. No, Cybertruck exploded. No, in New York it's saying. Trump Tower in New York. And apparently that's our guy. He seems to be deleted from the planet. Oh, shit. All right. Well, the Cybertruck might have been self-driven to Trump Tower, full of fireworks to set off the batteries. I don't know how that... And now it's this other thing is saying, were there fireworks in the Cybertruck that exploded at Trump Hotel in Vegas? No, that may be secondary batteries. I think people are seeing the secondary explosions of the batteries and the electronics and saying they're fireworks. Okay, so Trump Tower has been attacked. Nope, that's New Orleans for sure. So, yeah, ghetto, it's in Vegas. It's not the New York one. And again, this is the thing I love about X and TikTok is people will throw stuff up if they see it really fast. So you can get a lot of different perspectives, but they're going by that little piece they see and then they get confused, so they don't know what they're looking at. It was Vegas, ghetto, for sure. Yeah, and all of you, thank you for pointing that out. Holy hell. You got held for review. Who got held for review? Oops, put coffee and got held for review? That's... Nostradamus. Hey, Nostra, what's going on? Who can take it? Wait, okay, I lost track. All right. So anyway, folks. So okay, now 2 attacks. Don't know about the second one, but they shot that driver apparently and killed his ass. So I can only assume that I don't know. I don't know if that was a driver that was deleted or if that was a pedestrian and like when the truck came by, it blew up and he went down. I don't know. I don't know. I have no context as to who the second fatality was in Vegas. Yeah, I didn't see it. The mods caught it. Hey, good morning, Nana. Um, Pilgrim. So, folks, that's all I got right now. Again, thank you, KP, for sharing, and also Hayes Gray for sending me info. And a few of the veterans in my group have already made calls out, and people are collecting bits and pieces. Obviously, I don't want to get them in trouble, so I have to filter the way I say things. Not so much for YouTube, because it wouldn't really affect YouTube, but it may affect them, so I'm trying to keep them honest. You sure it's not my personality? Ha. Just YouTube and me. Okay, YouTube doesn't love you. Dang, I stopped watching news completely now. Well, Mike, I was the same way. I was going to post a video this morning of one of my corgis, you know, because the fireworks are going off and dogs don't like that all the time. So we have the veterinarian gave us these little mellow out tablets, right? But she's younger, so it goes by weight. So I'm like, okay, the big girl's 30 pounds, the little one's, you know, 12. So we did like a quarter, like a niblet, and put it in a cookie, and well, she got stoned. And it was funny as shit because the 2 younger dogs are really stoned. And then they were like, they look, and this morning they got up, they were super thirsty, and they had complete munchies. Like I couldn't cook. I was tripping on them in the kitchen because they all had munchies. That was what I was going to post this morning. And then my wife Sassy's looking at the weather today, and up comes New Orleans. So look, folks, there's not much you guys can do about stuff like this. All I could tell you is be situationally aware, even if you're drinking. I know that sounds kind of contradictory. You go out. When me and the guys meet up for drinks, we have certain places we like to sit. Now, mind you, I'm sitting with a MARSOC guy and a former counter-terror guy and a very beer-consuming Marine. And when we're together, we're like, well, we don't want to be near people anyway, so we'll get a corner, usually away from us, and we'll have our dogs and our wives with us. But even so, we're still, I look at guys, and the guys will still like, they'll hear something and they'll be like, and then they'll get back to the beers and chips. So it's still, you never stop, I guess, once you're trained like that. But hey, Metal. In any case, folks, pray for the folks in Louisiana and New Orleans. I don't know if they're going to cancel the football game as a result of today's situation, but in either case, if you have family or friends there, check in on them. Even if you know they're not hurt or they weren't on Bourbon Street, it can be very traumatic for people who are not in a preparedness mindset or not military or maybe a former responder or an outdoor hunting type person where oh, we can go to the woods and get, fall down and get hurt, and we need to be prepared for that. Not everyone can handle these kind of things. They get upset. So game going forward. Conserve friends. And you know what? I can see that because they're like, the hell with you guys. You're not going to stop our Sunday football, right? Or New Year's football. Like, we're going to continue despite you bastards. Driver escape before explosion. You're talking about Vegas? So I did not know about Vegas till somebody mentioned it here. I can't remember who it was. If it was Mike or message automatically. Why did it hide that? That's not a bad word. Okay, I can't unhide it. Did I unhide? So apparently every time one of you guys tags Nostradamus, it sees that second half of his name and says that's a bad word, and it puts it in shadow. Nostra, you're gonna have to like change your name to Nostra DA or something. I don't know. It's happened twice to him, yeah. because it says bad words. Oh, the EXP word. Yeah, okay. That makes sense too. Well, anyway, folks, look, be careful out there. Be safe. Hug your people. Check on your friends. And if I hear anything else later tonight, the way Mike says, made too much fun of AOC. Nostra has a secret crush on AOC, but she's annoying, so he message her for review. I can't click it because my finger's too fat on this little phone screen. It's like bloop bloop bloop. Yep, it blocked it. It blocked oops when you put but y'all stay safe. Hey Loretta, be careful out there. Good kid karma, be good. Have a bug out bag, or not a bug out bag, a get home bag and a good first aid kit. One of my medics in the guard just before we deployed for Harvey told us, buy tourniquets and keep them in your truck and in your personal gear as well as on your deployment gear. He said, because a lot of the injuries I see are not people in uniform. And it may not be you, but think about it. You drive up, you're staying at Trump Tower or wherever, the Venetian, and you come out and a dude's been stabbed or he just fell down and got cut open. You could save someone's life with a $20 tourniquet, right? So it could be someone you care for. So you guys be ready, be safe for that kind of stuff, but you guys be good out there. God bless. If I get any new additional info coming in, I will share with you guys in short videos, but you guys be great out there. And those of you who shared information with me, my KP, and all of you guys and girls, thank you so much. And God bless y'all. Have a happy new year. Fingers crossed. Let's hope get this settled down. You guys take care of yourselves.